Hello everyone and welcome back to the next edition of Colossal Havoc. This is build 6, version 1.05 of our game. So, we go to how to play. Let's see, have the explore the environment, drink the potion, collect stars, destroy the environment. I think that's still the same as before. The options still needed to be updated from 2, because if you remember from the last build, build 5, 2 was no longer relevant. Credits still haven't updated, it's still the same as before. We jump into quick start. You can see that it loads, still has the potion as the start. Options here. Still can mess with the sound in here. And the 2 on the keyboard still needs to be taken out. And then obviously that mini-map thing is gone in this build, in build 6. So let's go to the test map and then we'll jump into the USA and Japan maps. So as you can see, we didn't have to quit out and make multiple parts for this one because it actually loaded just fine. We were having problems for a little bit. And now, in this build, the last build, build 5, did not have a growth potion there. So now we have that in here. So the icon there needs to go away. So that's definitely a suggestion. And then obviously we didn't have this. We didn't have the smoke effect. The player dies and turns into the monster. And obviously camera issue there. Get to the house on the left and destroy it. Okay, so obviously when you punch it, it does a lot of damage and whatnot. That's funny. Definitely buggy. And this is what the buildings would kind of do in the regular maps once you start hitting them. But as you can see, destroy the other house too was a... Oh, and that's a bug. So, yeah. Things like that shouldn't be happening on the test map. So, that was definitely a bug fix. Okay. Next we still have the player in the background there. Shouldn't have the player behind the world map widget. That's definitely a problem. Gotta fix that. And when we quit out, as you can see, we are able to load back to the USA map. When before we couldn't just quit out of a map without having to stop the video and then go into another one. So that's definitely a change. Okay, so the super growth potion is there. So let's go ahead and get it. And the smoke comes out, the player has a hard time, player dies, and turns into a monster. And the camera on the monster and the growth happens, still need to be fixed. Alright, find the car dealer repair building on the right side. There will be a red skull. As you can see from the last build, that building that was here with that objective is no longer there. So so I can no longer, like, the only objective was that one, so it's impossible to complete the tasks. But buildings can now be destroyable, as you can see. So take one, give one, you know, in this case. So you can do some cool stuff now in this map, because in the last one we had the objectives working, but then we had to do some fine-tuning after putting these destructible buildings in. So, and as you can see as well, when you destroy these buildings, the bar at the bottom with the yellow meter in there, when you destroy these or start making progress on them, on destroying them, the meter will fill up. Right now the red meter won't do anything because it doesn't take damage at the moment because of no enemies on the map. I mean, I can give damage to myself, I think. No debug key no more, but in the prior build you were able to see and one of the earlier ones, that you can press a button to lose health and gain health. So it does work. It's just a matter of we don't have enemies in the map yet in this one. So eventually have some enemies shoot at you while you're destroying buildings and stuff, like police officers and stuff, trying to take down the monster, right? And of course the timer is more meant for the objective, like so that way you have a certain amount of time to get the objective. People that have played before mentioned that maybe adding time if you get the objective, but the reason why the time is so limited is because there's not that many objectives to find, and we want them to find them in the time limit or reset the game. And then of course having a high score thing later, but we haven't done that yet. And all these buildings, you know, like another thing too, since we have it on a score thing, and what I mean by that is, like, say that meter at the bottom, it's completely filled up, maybe adding like a win widget, you know, for score based on, you know, filling up that meter, or if we have a certain text score on there, you know, like a score that says you have scored this much or whatever, right? But obviously I'm just able to keep going and destroying as many buildings as I'd like while I'm on this rampage, right? But yeah, and then there's like there's I mean, that makes sense because you want a building to make sense like it's been there, but yeah. But the destructible environment is a blast, you know. As you see, when you keep hitting things, eventually they break and disappear. Trees and stuff don't yet. Eventually maybe the trees will. But the timer expires, it says out of time, and the objectives go away. So basically it's a bug, and you know, whether one, you know, it should have two things happen. One, if you fill up the meter, it should go to a win widget or a certain amount of score, and then if not, then if the timer expires and you're looking for a certain stars or whatever and don't collect them all, then just having the results of how much points you scored and your star skulls you collected. So yeah, and right now I can still continue as like a free-for-all around the map, even though it took off the health, the progress bar, and the objective underneath the minimap. It just left the minimap there, and that's it. So that's definitely a bug, needs fixed. Alright, so let's go ahead and quit. Again, that minimap is out of that screen now in this build, and build 6, which is great. You saw the test map and what we could do there, even though it had a bug. USA map we just played, and Japan map. Let's see what Japan has updated, because Jayla's put a lot of work into this Japan map. And you can even tell with all the different things going on here. Again, interact with the potion. Same thing, camera on the monster needs to be moved back some, so that way it's not zoomed in on its butt or its feet or whatever. Alright, that sign there, the banner, should be put back, because obviously you don't want a blank sign. Let's see here. Go and find the Japan Gaming Store. So again, same thing in this build. We had made the objectives, and then right in the midst of it, we are changing the things out. So so now the destructible buildings in this build are here, but the objectives that were put in before are no longer here. So they definitely had to be made some changes there. So basically it just stays the same objectives the entire time, and the meter there at the bottom should automatically update back to 0 instead of wait until you're at 1 bar to, you know, start up the new one. That's definitely a bug. Alright. I do love how the building changes with the hits, you know, adding more damage to them before they fall. And then the camera shakes as they go. So, pretty neat. The look of the map, of course, with Jayla doing fantastic with the design, adding different styles of trees like that one, and then you got regular trees like the ones over there. So, and even small trees, you got different style trees, which is great. It's not all the same thing throughout the whole map. And then, of course, some of the culture style, like this sign right here in front of this building, looks like something that would be in Japan. So that's pretty cool. Tree in the middle of the two-way street. I'm not sure about that, but maybe they have something like that in Japan. I don't know. But pretty neat though. And then, can I jump on things yet? So it looks like I can't really destroy them by jumping on them, at least not in this build. Alright. And so a lot of the same suggestions for the USA map, and the same applies here. Not necessarily that the maps are bad, it's just that, like, with the widgets at the end, you know, like collect all the collectibles, pop one style of windscreen, and then if you get the other, then pop the other windscreen. But if the timer runs out, pop a game over screen or a retry level screen. So again, not too bad. I really do enjoy it. The 5 bars filled up for the yellow bar, but again, as you see, after the timer expires, everything disappears. So same thing, and it says top in the top left, out of time. So with that though, there's been a lot of great updates in this one, and especially the look of the map. If you looked at the earlier builds that were posted, you'll see how far this has come along from what it was originally. So hope you all enjoyed this, and we're gonna go ahead and quit back to the main menu, and we'll see you guys in build 7. So stay tuned for more videos of Colossal Havoc, where we talk about all the new updates that we keep putting in. See y'all then.